Okay.
Scientifically accurate, ladies and gentlemen.
Ooh, this is a really good networking card. Go ahead, though.
Jeez.
What is it, Larry?
Appreciate it.
Wow.
The currency of real networking is not greed, but generosity. Keith Ferrazzi.
Ooh, that's pretty good.
Play the music.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, everyone, and welcome to a networking episode of the Good Leader Podcast. That sexual being you heard over there is Lemuel dropping his encouragement to Kyle during the cold open. You guys are very supportive of each other today. I like that. You heard Lemuel, you heard Kyle. Welcome to the show, guys. How you doing today?
Hey, it's really good to be here. Thanks for having me on.
Excellent, absolutely. And we have Brian, I Love Cars 3, Harris.
The one and only.
Brian, how you feeling about Cars 3? Because that's what we're talking about today with Pixar Palooza.
Sure, and we're putting them in tournament style. Honestly,
We are.
Don't think Cars 3 is going to win, and I have a very specific reason
Because
why.
it's terrible?
But I think it deserves its recognition where it's
Wow.
at.
Okay. Well, we'll get into that in the second
Sure,
half
we
of the
will.
episode.
I know.
Save it right there.
I'm
Save it
saving
right
it.
there.
I'm saving it.
That's the second half when we get into Pixar Palooza. One thing that I'm taking away from Cars 3, though, is it's an actual like workplace drama.
Yeah.
It's maybe of all the Pixars we talked about. It's a workplace drama. It's like actual real workplace dilemma. A senior executive, a senior star, aging out, dealing with that. Probably be better if he would get out of the way, but he doesn't really want to. You've got a young up-and-comer dealing with imposter syndrome. Cruz is great, but she's fighting the glass ceiling.
Yep.
You got your competitors
The
over
glass
there.
windshield, if you will.
Bonus points.
Thanks.
The competitor wasn't Jackson Storm?
Jackson
Yep.
Storm.
Jackson Storm over there is that, golly, come on.
Nice to beat you.
We've all got those competitors that were like, God, they're really good and I hate them for it. You know what I mean? That's in essence, that's what Lightning McQueen's saying. Like,
Yep.
he's good. I don't like that. That's making me mad. I'm losing and I don't like it. So I thought in the workplace drama, but let's spin it a little positively because Kyle gave us that networking. What was the networking their quote you had in there?
Yeah, it's the currency of real networking is not greed, but generosity. Keith Ferrazzi.
That's good. And what was your networking quote, Lim?
Networking is more about farming than it is about hunting.
Oh,
That's
wow. Brian, which one of those do you like better? You get to pick. Is it Kyle or Lemuel? Who wins? Because we challenged each other to
It
pick a
is.
networking
This
for
is
the
the
cold
game.
open. This is the game.
It is. Kyle's is really speaking more to my current state in the white collar profession, but Lim's is really speaking to my roots.
Okay.
Back home in small town Oklahoma. So
Hunting out in the backwoods.
giving money to Lim on this one.
Lim.
I don't blame you.
Boom, Lim.
deserved
We do have a Pixar Palooza game. You get one ghost point to use in the game.
What?
Great.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a ghost point. That's right, folks. Giving out ghost points already. That means it's going to be a good episode. Hey, Peter Drucker, we're just full of quotes here. Says never waste a lunch. And on networking, I've got three quick ways because in the movie Cars 3, you got all these different connections. We go all the way back to the Hudson Hornets gang. Old school. You've got Jackson Storm. I can't remember all the characters' name in Cars 3 because you got like the billionaire that basically purchases Rusty's and the team and all
Nathan
those.
Fillion.
You got all those. Is that his name?
I don't know the car's name. He's
Mr.
voiced by
Sterling.
Nathan.
Oh, okay.
Mr. Sterling. Come on.
Okay, Mr.
Come on, people.
Thank you. That's why we brought you on the show today.
I know.
But there are a lot of really good networking things.
Yeah.
And out there, if you're networking, I want to give you 3 quick tips on how to network internally and externally. So it's really not just networking, but about connections, connecting with people. It's like farming, not hunting. Not just going out there looking for your next sell or your next win, but actually with your own staff, your own team, your peers. What can you do? Here are 3 quick tips. Number 1, 5 good minutes. Most of us use the excuse, especially with our own teams. If you're a supervisor, manager, director out there, it's like, I'm so busy getting this done, this done, this done. I don't have time to connect with my team. I don't have time. Every single day, if you'll take 5 good minutes, where do you get 5 good minutes? I'm talking coffee breaks. I'm not talking going and getting coffee at a restaurant. I'm talking a cafe. I'm talking in the break room. When you go get coffee, get it with other people. Keep your door cracked. Keep your door open. Whenever somebody's walking by, they're going to get coffee, get up, stop what you're doing, go take that 5 minutes and be like, hey, how's it going? Tell me what's going on. Catch up with that person. How's this project? How's life? I heard this was happening. 5 good minutes is all it takes. Not even 5. I just like that because it's a nice number for us to think about. But 5 good minutes every single day, and you would be amazed at the results. Number 2, similar to 5 good minutes, but a little more strategic. Put people in your schedule. This is like Peter Drucker's never waste a lunch. Who are you eating lunch with today? It should be someone on your team or an external networking opportunity. Even if you say, oh, I am trying to manage my diet and I am meal prepping. Great. Then brown bag it with someone in your office. Say, hey, you bringing your lunch tomorrow? Me too. Let's grab lunch. Let's go outside. We've got a picnic table outside at our office that no one ever sits in. I can almost guarantee you do also. You got a park within walking distance? Take time, put people in your schedule. Like, hey, you want to go eat lunch in the park? Sure. Most of the time, people will say yes. It's a quick and easy win, but only if you put people in your schedule. Here's how you do that. Brian, hey, what are you doing for lunch next Wednesday?
Next Wednesday, nothing as of right now.
You want to eat lunch down at the park?
I'd love to. Yeah,
Brown bag. Actually, you know what I want to do? Mondays, they're starting like the
food trucks. The
yeah,
food trucks on Mondays.
Yeah. When is that? I mean, your wife works at the chamber.
Every other Monday. Yep. Every other Monday. Yep.
So is it this coming Monday?
This coming Monday.
Do you want to go to? Do you want to do the food truck thing on Monday?
I will be here on Monday, and I would love to grab
food
lunch at the food trucks.
That's how you put people in your schedule right there. Easy as that. Lemuel, you're abandoning us for bigger, better things and people you like better than us, right?
Yes.
Okay, tell you what, not going to get lunch anytime soon. That's how it goes. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But you got to be strategic. You connect with people. You eat. You schedule people. That's how you do it. It's as simple as that. And number 3, write a daily thank you card. Now, this is a good practice for 2 reasons. Now, I didn't say write 10 thank you cards. I'm specifically saying 1. Why? Because it will not take you very much time. It'll help you network and connect with someone, and it will also help you practice gratitude. On the networking side, if you're like, I don't know who to write a thank you card to, I want you to look at your schedule, look at your calendar of the last week, and who presented an opportunity that you would not have had without that person. This could be as simple as like right now, I am podcasting with you 3 individuals. I could write a thank you card to all 3 of you, 1 per day, and there you go. Hey, that podcast episode was great. Thank you so much for your research. Thanks for checking it out. Pixar Palooza. Lim, thank you so much. Blah, blah, blah. That's it. Look over yours. So if you think about it right now, I'm going to challenge you. If you look over your, Lim, you got somebody that comes to mind that you could write a thank you card to?
Yeah.
You got somebody?
Yeah.
You mind to tell the world? Who would that be?
My wife.
Your wife. That's an excellent answer. That's a lovely answer. Brian, do you have anybody if you think of the last week? I know I'm stretching you guys. I'm putting you on the spot because I want to show that this is not like, okay, write a thank you card. I don't have anything to write a thank you card about.
Yeah,
Nothing big has happened. Well, it doesn't have to be gigantic. It's just this happened. Yeah. What do you got?
I do. His name's Aaron. He's from New Hampshire.
Oh, okay.
I flew up from New Hampshire for a quick work trip to attend something of his, and the hospitality that they gave to me was unmatched. It was absolutely incredible. They treated me to dinner. They took me out to meet some other people, see some places there in New Hampshire, and then also just treated me incredibly well during the actual event itself because I flew there from Oklahoma to be there for them. So it was really good. So I greatly appreciated the hospitality they showed me.
And this is why we're talking about this on the Good Leader podcast and Leadership Lesson on Networking, because have you written a thank you card to that individual?
I have not.
Now, not to put pressure on you and not to, but if you had the practice of every day and you put it, this is why it's in your schedule. Every day I write a thank you card at 9 a.m., first thing when I come to my office, or end of the day, wherever you want to put it, or at lunch, wherever you want to put it. I would encourage you to be the same time every day. It's kind of like working out, create a habit of it. That individual, Aaron, I believe you said, but his name or her name? His name. Yep. Aaron probably would cross your mind over this next week. You're like, who am I writing? Oh, you know what? I should write this. Kyle, you got anybody that comes to your mind?
Yeah, I just went on an event with some of our summer staff, and they did a great job.
That's how you do it. You build rapport, you build your leadership, you build your social credibility with people, and you increase your influence. So when we get back from the break, we're going to talk about Pixar Palooza, specifically Cars 3, and how Brian is defending it to the death.
Hey, everybody. You looking for some good resources? Some activities to do with your groups? Some road trip questions? Things like that? Well, go to ps.company/store and you should buy something. You won't regret it. I bet you that. Bet you $1. You won't regret it. It'll be a good time. ps.company/store.
All right. Thank you, Catalina, for joining the podcast and doing the commercial.
Catalina from Minnesota, though.
Appreciate that.
Catalina from Minnesota.
Yeah, Cat. Yeah, it was Cat from Minnesota. That's pretty good. All right, Cars 3. Here it is. The piece de resistance. Brian, you've been waiting for this. You were born for this.
I have.
This is your favorite Pixar movie. Leadership lesson aside. It's your favorite movie.
It is. Outside of anything that you could potentially take away from it, it is my favorite Pixar movie.
How do you feel about it with leadership lessons now that you've looked at it through that lens?
I have. There are some phenomenal lessons you can take away from it, and definitely some things you could build from it. However, the reason why I'm not choosing it to win is because I know.
I'm surprised.
I know you are, but I don't think Cars 3 holds any weight or value without Cars 1.
Okay.
I don't think Cars 3 holds any weight or value without Cars 1.
Oh,
I think these other movies can stand alone, and they can build themselves, and they have a lot of rapport outside of their prequels. But I don't know if you can do that with Cars 3.
Well,
And
I
that's
appreciate
why.
I
That's
appreciate
why.
your honesty.
I know.
I'll say this. I'm actually the opposite. I
Whoa.
went into Cars 3 not really caring for the movie, not even thinking this is going to be good. And after watching, because so I went into Coco thinking, you know what, Coco's a great movie. I loved it. This is going to be chock full of lessons. And I walked away going,
Wow.
Coco, come on, Miguel's a punk. That's how I walked away with Coco.
Wow.
This one I went in thinking, okay, Cars 3. We let Brian squeak it in here somehow.
It's so good.
Of all the leadership lessons from Pixar, we're picking this movie. But I walked away. I have a ton. Here are a few. You want to go on my leadership lessons or quotes first? Which one do you want to hear? 'Cause that's chock full.
Lessons.
All right. Transition well. Transition well.
Yeah.
Parenthetically, learn to love, and this is something I've been on recently in my personal life. Learn to love the seasons of life. Life is seasonal. I think of many of us are fans of Parks and Rec, and I think of Ron Swanson. He did not love the seasons of life. There was a moment when he gets so mad because he's like, I just looked around and all my friends were gone.
Yeah.
In working. Yeah, that season's over, Ron. So you've got to learn to love the next season.
Yep.
You know? And as you go through life, I don't know how much time you guys spend with your high school friends anymore. I spend very little to none with high school friends. College friends, a little bit more, not many. They're acquaintances, they're connections. People come and people go, but the seasons of life we can enjoy. And in our workplace, it's like, wow, I am in this season. Enjoy it. Whether like I'm new here and I'm the up and comer. Okay, great. Enjoy that. Hey, I'm seasoned in my job and I'm kind of rocking and rolling. Enjoy that. So transition well. I could go on and on forever about it. That's the one I was like, wow, that's really speaking to me. Okay, lesson number 2: invest in the next generation.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, you guys got it. And number 3: use your platform. Specifically, use your platform for others. He gave his number to Cruz at the end. Right? And that's true. It's like, hey, the car doesn't have to finish. The numbers got to finish.
It literally says the person doesn't matter. The number
matters.
Yeah.
And it's so he literally uses his platform / number for somebody else.
Yep.
And then finally, I just learned a lot. And this isn't necessarily a leadership lesson. It's just more, I was like, wow, that's a good consideration, maybe. But comparing Cruz with imposter syndrome and McQueen's confidence. Comparing those two things. Because I was thinking of Cruz, and I looked it up. And there's a lot of really great stuff here, by the way. If you just want to look up Cars 3 and imposter syndrome, holy macanoli.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of people got a lot of opinions on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but a lot of people put some good stuff. I want to read this to you. This is from medium.com. In her blog titled Cars 3, Cruz Ramirez knows all about imposter syndrome. Amy Ratcliffe writes, Cruz is every person who's ever experienced the unnerving tendrils of imposter syndrome wrapping around their brain. Cruz is every person who's ever experienced a lack of confidence. For many of us, particularly for many women I know, Cruz is the very picture of relatable. Though it's not strictly a gender issue, the confidence gap does exist. In many situations, especially in the workforce, women are less self-assured than men. Now, I know we're on a podcast, ironically, here full of men. I wish. So when we do the debate issues, we'll have Jess or Anj or some female to give us their contingent on that. But it was a lot like when we talked about the book Lean In, when we shared that on the podcast and just talking about, I went through those quotes and just asked, have you ever felt this? And almost always Anj and Jess identified with that. And I was like, I don't identify with that. I identify much more with a quote by Lightning McQueen. Lightning McQueen is asked, when did you know that you could make it as a racer? And he says, I don't know. I just never thought I couldn't. That's kind of, I identify more with that
great,
when it comes to like the success in my life. Like, Jared, you're going to make it as a speaker? Well, of course I am. You're going to make it as a business leader? It doesn't mean that it's easy. It doesn't mean that, but I experience confidence more than imposter syndrome in many situations. Now, am I very fortunate for that? Absolutely. Am I grateful for that? Yes, I'm grateful for that and grateful that I have been built up by others. You know, I'm a big believer that everyone is just a turtle on a fence post. And a turtle on a fence post. You know, Lemuel, if you see on a turtle on a fence post, you know what you got to ask?
What?
How did that get there? Every one of us is a turtle on a fence post. I am a successful person because of other people in my life who have put me here, who have encouraged me, helped me. I have great parents. I started out ahead of the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, so all of those things. But because of that, it's given me this level of confidence. Sorry, I could go on and on, guys. I'm pretty proud. I was like, wow, I can tell. I'm taking so much from this movie. Like, wow, especially when we talk at Good Leader Podcast, applying it in our daily lives. You know, what do you guys think? Any other leadership lessons that I missed? I know I covered a broad swath there. Any quotes or leadership lessons that I missed?
Big one for me. I rewatched it last night. I've watched it 100 times, but I rewatched it again. And there's a very specific moment right at the beginning of the movie whenever he's talking to the current Dynaco car. I think it's Carl Weathers is his name. And he says, when do you know it's time to retire? the young ones will tell you.
Ooh, that's good.
And that wraps all the way back metaphorically. Cruz never tells him that it's time to retire, but he sees her, sees the potential within her. As he's racing in that first start of the Florida race, he literally is having flashbacks of everything that Cruz has done successfully and better than him because she's younger than him and she is more, I don't know, adept with the new world that of racing is. And he reflects on that and sees that and gives her that opportunity. And he steps into that. So did
That's good
she
stuff.
directly tell him that? No, but metaphorically, yeah.
Well, maybe
good.
Jackson's telling him also.
Jackson
As a
does
young car.
tell him.
Yeah, the Jackson Storm.
Yeah, but
he's
Jackson's
literally
a jerk,
telling him.
though.
He's a
He's
jerk.
like,
He tells
get
him
off the track.
Well, it's kind of the negative and the positive side.
Right,
The young ones will
100%.
tell you. Some of them are going to
Yeah.
be cocky and arrogant.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And some of
Yeah.
them are going to be humble and, inclusive.
Yep.
But they're both letting you know it's
Yeah.
time for you to step
Yeah.
aside.
Yeah.
I got some good stuff. I got some really good stuff from this movie. There's a quote at kind of the heartfelt moment, maybe 2/3 of the way through the movie. Lightning McQueen goes back and watches some footage of his mentor, Doc Hudson, and the quote is, "Doc saw something in you that you don't even see in yourself. Are you ready to go find it?" And for all of these years, Lightning McQueen, he's like, "Oh yeah, I'm the racer. That's what I see in
I am
myself."
speed.
That's not what Doc saw in him. Not that he's a racer, but he's a mentor. So I really like that. Leadership lesson: work looks different as you mature. So go from racing to mentoring as
Yeah.
you spend more time in your work. Even if you are a
That's good.
specialist, even if you're not a manager, director, C-suite, whatever, be a mentor.
Yeah.
Pick up the crews, whoever that may be.
I got a fun metaphor to play off that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Hey, sometimes if you feel like you're spinning your wheels, you may be going somewhere.
Wow.
Pretty good, right?
That's good.
Little punny, little
good.
corny, but I like
Yeah.
it. Especially like you said, work feels different when you're older. I know when I was
Sure,
young, I
yeah.
felt like I should be getting more opportunities. Like, yeah, but keep working, keep driving, keep going
Yeah.
forward. It's like I'm just spinning my wheels here. Yeah,
Work
you're
looks different.
Work looks different.
Yeah, you're on a different track.
You're on a different track.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh, see what I did there?
Tracks.
Personal paradigm shift. You should stop racing. There's probably something that you are spinning your wheels on that you're racing. Maybe you should put that headset on. Be a mentor.
Who, not how.
Yeah.
I like it. Lots and lots of good stuff.
Yeah, man, Smokey has quotes for days in the movie.
He does. Let me hear a couple.
He really does. One of them that he said was kind of along the same time frame whenever he's speaking to him about Doc and Doc seeing stuff in him. He says, "You will never be the racer you once were. Accept that. You can't turn back the clock, kid, but you can wind it up again."
That was
so
good.
good.
I loved it.
Again.
I
But you
loved it.
can wind it up again.
I'm not as good as I once
Man,
was.
it's so good.
That's good.
Man.
All right. Well, who would you hire? Brian, this is your movie.
This is.
It's your
this
movie.
is- this
It's your
is-
moment.
and This
Who
is
would
a
you
hot
hire?
take. This is a hot take moment a little bit.
Who
on
would
my
you hire? And hot take?
They're both together.
Okay.
They're both together.
Okay.
My hot take and my hire, I would hire Mr. Sterling.
Wow. All right.
That's the Nathan Fillion guy.
It is.
Okay.
He's the guy that buys Rusty's. And the reason why, as I was watching the movie, obviously towards the end, Mr. Sterling gets a little bit worse because he's kind of getting to that point. But I think the reason behind that is, and the point behind me hiring him is he buys Rusty's. He does not give up on Lightning McQueen.
Right.
He
No,
said-
he didn't.
He says,
He did not.
listen, I know who you are. He takes Lightning McQueen through the hall of trophies,
does.
and Lightning's like, this is like, that's where I said earlier we were talking about success, and sometimes you don't even know how successful you are. That whenever Lightning McQueen is in that moment, and Mr. Sterling is seeing this, and he literally does not give up on Lightning McQueen until the very end. Whenever Lightning is in the race, and he's like, this is we're almost like you're done. You're done. It's time to move on.
Well, he set up a great environment for Lightning
He did
to succeed.
He set up a success path for Lightning McQueen. Lightning McQueen refused it, which that was his right to do so. But he set up the success path for him. He gave him the avenue. He also gave him a way to transition very smoothly out of being a racer.
Well,
He set the success up for Lightning McQueen. Lightning McQueen didn't necessarily
Absolutely.
take it and took a different route to do it. But yeah,
My
his
hot take.
succession planning was great.
my hot take: the real heroes or the Rusty's guys?
Oh,
yeah.
Rusty
The
and
Rusty's
Dusty?
guys,
Yeah.
the
Nice.
real heroes of the entire
Wow.
series.
Wow.
The Rusty's guys, they're the real heroes.
They gave young Lightning a
They
chance.
gave young Lightning a chance.
Yep.
They know who their business is. They
Yeah.
know who their customers are. They're speaking to their customers. They're
Yeah.
not afraid to be who
Nice.
they are.
And
And
you-
then guess what? They sell it for millions of dollars.
And you know what goes perfect
In
with
the end.
Rusty's bumpers?
What's that?
Mud flaps. Because that's what Mr. Sterling's famous for.
That's true. I'm hiring
good stuff.
Lightning McQueen. I know that is not very controversial, but I think now more than the other two movies, Lightning has matured. I think he belongs in my organization.
Hey, I take a Lightning McQueen on my team any day. Lemuel, any closing thoughts on Cars 3?
Makes me want to watch it.
Oh,
Hey.
you're missing out. Don't
It's
watch
a
Cars 3.
great
Skip
one.
it. Skip Cars 2.
Okay.
Cars 1 to Cars 3.
With that being said, hey, go out there, hire your Lightning McQueen, sell your Rusties, but be you. Don't worry about what other people are saying. Have some confidence. You are not that imposter. Break through that glass windshield and be a good leader.